This is the Marketing Minute with Eric Rhodes, author of the #1 Amazon bestseller, Make More Money Selling Your Art, Proven Techniques to Turn Your Passion into Profit.
In the Marketing Minute, I try to answer your marketing questions, and you can always email me, eric@plenairmagazine.com. Be sure to mention where you're from, your name and your town, right? Because sometimes they don't, like a couple of them I've got today. So here's one from Fernando Mishley. Fernando Mishley. Sorry, Fernando. He asked, what's the best way to approach and get representation from galleries? Well, the best thing to do is to put yourself in their shoes. Anytime you want to sell somebody on you or something, put yourself in their shoes. Imagine that you're working in a gallery. You're trying to get things done. You're talking to customers, and the phone rings, or somebody walks in the door, and they say, "Hi, I'm an artist, and I'd like to discuss getting into your gallery." Well, when you're busy, it's annoying. And I know you're going to say, well, it's their job. Well, their job is to sell art. Their job is to find artists, but they have all the artists they want and need anyway. So they're always looking for somebody a little extra good or something that's unique, but they're getting 50, 60, 100 emails a week. They're getting unsolicited packages. I watched a gallery owner open and trash 50 packages while I was sitting there with him, people sending unsolicited packages about their work. And he just said, I have to go through it, but I don't read it. It's just too much. He said, I get twice as many emails as this. It's really annoying. Most galleries are looking for artists who will sell, and their solicitations from you are bothersome. So how do you get around that? Well, I have in my art marketing bootcamp series a whole thing on how to get into galleries, but one of the essential things is you want them to see you and you want them to invite you in. For instance, I met with an artist this week who was in town shooting a video. He's running ads in our magazine, Fine Art Connoisseur, and he said 2 different galleries contacted him about representing him. Now, it didn't happen immediately because they want to watch you. They see your work. They say, oh, it's good work. Let's see what he puts in next time or she puts in next time. And they watch you. One gallery owner told me he's been watching a couple of artists over the course of a few years. And at some point, as they develop and they get better, he might contact them, put them into the gallery. So that's one thing. It's always better if they call you. It puts you in more of a position of power, actually. And you want to be invited in. Being invited in is a lot better than kind of pushing your way in. So look for ways to get them to invite you. Now, there's a lot of ways to do that. For instance, you can get to know other artists who they know, who maybe they can suggest you, etc. They're watching for your consistency and the variety of things, and they're looking at it sometimes for years, so be patient. But really understand that they're evaluating you from the standpoint of, will this sell? Because if it's not going to sell, they're not going to sell it. Here's another question from David Cruz. Again, I don't know what town. David, shame on you. Got to tell me the town. Anyway, David says, I have a question about selling art online. It seems that most artist websites don't give prices for the work, but rather ask the potential buyer to inquire with the artist. Do you think it's a good idea, a good strategy, or is it better to clearly state the price on the website? Well, David, it's a matter of philosophy. People want people to call. Why? So they have a chance to sell them, to talk to them, maybe to get their name, maybe to justify the price. There's an old philosophy, and that philosophy is whenever the price is mentioned before value is established, you never get your price. You have to establish value, and that's why people do this. Establishing value is building credibility by talking about your awards, your shows, your collectability, maybe who collects you, getting the fact that you're already getting these high prices. That establishes value. So you can understand why people want you to call. But this is an internet world. And quite frankly, I'll look at things, and I'm sure you do too, in the middle of the night, and you're like, I don't want to have to call. You always see, call for inquiry, or, you have to fill out a form. I never do any of that stuff because I don't want to do it. I just want to know what the price is. And so if somebody says, call for price, I move on. Now, again, it's a philosophy, but you're probably losing for every one that calls, you're probably losing 50 that won't call. So if you're selling online, I think you look for a chance to establish value right there where the painting is being seen, where you're talking about the value of you as the artist, and when they're looking at your site. And some will buy online. I know a gallery who sold a $650,000 piece of sculpture to a foreign country. The person went online, they saw the price, didn't negotiate, put their credit card in, and it was shipped to them. Everything worked beautifully. So you obviously don't want to ship it until you make sure the credit card's going to go through. But I think that, today in this world, you have to be willing to operate the way people want to operate. So I hope this helps. Anyway, that's been the Marketing Minute.
This has been the Marketing Minute with Eric Rhodes. You can learn more at artmarketing.com.